This is the Neoliberal Round podcast. Crime or crisis? The attack on Governor Shapiro and what it really means. Crime or crisis? The attack on Governor Shapiro and what it really means. You're listening to the Neoliberal Round, and I'm your host, Renaldo McKenzie. And today, I want to share a quick but important thought about the recent attack on Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro and his family at the governor's mansion. Now, and this happened recently. This was shocking, disturbing, and yes, deeply serious. But it also reveals much more than just a security breach or an isolated act of violence. It forces us to ask, are we looking at a crime or a crisis? And are we responding in a way that will prevent the next one? And so, there are several points that I will like to share with you that I believe that the attack on Governor Shapiro's house may suggest. Several points. Point one is that this is a mental health and an addiction crisis. Point two, premature responses lead to wrong solutions. Point three, the January 6th comparison. Point four, the law alone won't fix this. Point five, serious questions about security. Point six, mental health equal public security. And of course, my conclusion. Let's begin with the first point. The first point is that this is a mental health and an addiction crisis. That's the first thing we need to understand. What happened at the governor's mansion is not necessarily a sign that crime is out of control. It's a sign that mental health and opioid-related crises are being ignored, misdiagnosed, or underfunded. This wasn't just a madman. This could have been someone in deeply psychological distress. Someone who, if properly supported, may never have ended up in that situation. And point two, premature responses lead to wrong solutions. After incidents like this, we often see calls to crack down, more arrests, more surveillance, more punishment. But punishment is not prevention. We can't keep treating mental illness and addiction with police and prison. We need, one, more accessible community mental health services. Two, robust substance use treatment. Three, mobile crisis teams trained in de-escalation. Four, policies that deal with why this happened, not just what happened. And five, peer recovery support and treatment program that is targeted and driven by research and data. Let's go to the third point. The third point that this attack on the attack on Governor Shapiro's mansion. The third point that I would like to share with you, the third point that seems to have been raised from what has happened. I want to draw a parallel, and which is the January 6th comparison, because I want to draw a parallel that might make some people uncomfortable. The January 6th Capitol attack. That was not just political extremism. That was psychological manipulation. That was mental instability, radicalized by fear, lies, and toxic leadership. And we have to start asking ourselves, are the people leading these movements mentally fit themselves? Are the people leading these movements mentally fit themselves? What happens when unstable leaders weaponize unstable followers? Again, you can't jail your way out of that. You need public health solutions. This brings us to the next point, point 4. The law alone won't fix this. The law alone won't fix this. Let me be clear. I'm not saying people shouldn't be held accountable. But throwing someone with untreated schizophrenia or severe trauma into jail is not justice. It's just delay. It's just delay. Again, let me say that. I'm not saying people shouldn't be held accountable, but throwing someone with untreated schizophrenia or severe trauma into jail is not justice. It's just delay. And when that happens, or when that person spirals again, guess what? We're all still at risk. That's why we must invest in mental health infrastructure the way we invest in roads, policing, or national defense. We must invest in mental health infrastructure the same way we invest in roads, policing, or national defense. The fact of the matter is that the cat is out the bag. Is that the saying? So we can't be thinking about cutting, but supporting and helping in an aggressive way, because this is a public health issue. This is a public health issue that demands lot of resources, lot of coming together, and lot of targeting. Point 5. This brings us to the 5th point. Serious questions about security. Now, let's talk about something else. Something else this incident raises. How did this individual get close enough to a sitting governor and his family to cause serious damage? How did this individual get close enough to a sitting governor and his family to cause serious damage? That's not just a lapse. That's a massive security failure. We need to rethink how we protect elected officials, not just in public spaces, but in their homes. Mental health crises don't pause at the gates of power. Our security systems need to account for that. Next is point 6. Mental health equals public security. And this is my final point. My point today is this. If we want to be safe, and this is powerful, if we want to be safe, we have to get real about what safety means. If we want to be safe, we have to get real about what safety means. It's not just cops and fences. Instead, it's compassion, it's care, it's crisis prevention. We need to stop punishing pain and start treating it. Because when we ignore mental illness and addiction, society pays the price every time. Again, let me make this point again. If we want to be safe, we have to get real about what safety means. Because it's not just cops and fences, it's compassion, it's care, it's crisis prevention. And we need to stop punishing pain and start treating. Because when we ignore mental illness and addiction, society pays the price every time. And of course, and that is why I interviewed the gentleman from givearoof.org, the city commissioner Cupertino, and the hotelier Claudio Bono, who has an innovative idea to end or to resolve or help to solve homelessness. Please listen to the podcast. I did it. It's available on the Neoliberal Round podcast and the Neoliberal Round YouTube channel. Now that's it for the episode of the Neoliberal Round. I'm Renaldo. Thanks for tuning in to this short but brief episode of On a Quick Note. Remember that the way we respond to crisis determines whether it happens again. So let's choose prevention over punishment and policy over panic. Until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking, and keep it neoliberal but compassionate. Now, Please support us. Email me at renaldocmckenzie@gmail.com, info@theneoliberal.com. Please visit our store page, store.theneoliberal.com. Check out our services, our books, Neoliberalism. The next book will be available soon. You can start to pre-order. Check out all our articles and blogs. Please check out our IT solutions, web designs at antsbusinesssolutions.com. You can check it out at the store.theneoliberal.com. Please support us. Visit our main page, theneoliberal.com, and the Neoliberal Post at renaldocmckenzie.com, because this article was first published in the Neoliberal Post at renaldocmckenzie.com. Follow me on Twitter, Renaldo McKenzie, LinkedIn, Reverend Renaldo C. McKenzie, Facebook, Renaldo.McKenzie. You can also follow us on our corporation page, the Neoliberal Co., or the Neoliberal, or the Neoliberal Corporation. Thank you so much. Please call me 445-260-9198. What good?